Well, hello there, and welcome to NovellaSims. I'm Novi, and today you're watching the makeovers of Beau and Victoria Andrews. So, I know some of you guys might be thinking, wait a minute here, wait a minute. You said we were going to get 2 episodes of the Pearson Legacy. Where are they? And don't worry, guys, I am going to come to that. Please bear with me. We are going to have a bit of story time during this makeover video. However, I will say if this is your first time tuning in for one of my videos, maybe because you liked the Andrews family and you've played with them before in Sunset Valley and you want to see their makeovers, welcome to you. I will have another makeover video coming out this week of Jamie Jelena. And I will start off by saying why we are making over the Andrews family. They are going to become a big part of the Pearson Legacy, which is my Sims 3 Legacy LEPacy on this channel. And Jamie Jelena also plays a big part in that Legacy Challenge video also, or Legacy series, I should say, also. And so, yes, following the comments from the last video of the Pearson Legacy, you guys were like, you've got to give Jamie and Beau makeovers, and I couldn't agree more. We could not let them continue in their EA ways, for sure. I had actually previously made over Jamie, but again, I kind of stopped halfway and thought I'll come back to this later. Anywho, so I had a plan, guys. I was listening to the comments, or yeah, noting the comments. I was like, yep, I've got to make over Beau. And I thought I can't just make over Beau and not make over his wife. So I thought, yep, Beau, Victoria and Jamie. I was going to do that on Thursday night. And I did. I started the makeovers. And then I finished Beau and I finished Victoria, and then I hibernated my laptop because it was kind of late, and I thought I'll come back and I will do Jamie. The following day, on Friday, I turned back on my laptop and the whole thing had restarted itself, and me, like the idiot I am, I had not saved the makeovers that I had done for Beau and Victoria. So I thought, oh dear God, I've got to do it all over again. And I did. It was fine. I kind of knew what I was going for, and so I thought, yep, let me try and do Beau again. You know, when you make over Sims for a second time, it's never as good as the first time, but I thought it's fine, let's do it. I made over Beau, then I started to do Victoria, and then I got this massive warning on my laptop that my hard drive was full, and I was like, what? How can this be? Guys, I have a 1 TB solid state hard drive for my laptop. And so I had to go back, I had to stop recording, and actually the video file that I was doing for Victoria got corrupted because basically my laptop couldn't save it. I had to go back and find all the video files because I've been an idiot and I haven't been deleting all of my video files that I've been recording. Not only did I keep the source videos, so like the OBS versions, I also still had all the Premiere Pro versions, the final versions that I upload to YouTube. So I finally deleted all of the source ones, but I'm a little bit of a hoarder. I've kept still like the OBS ones, like the final, not the OBS ones, the YouTube ones, the final versions, because I was thinking, you know, at the end of this generation, like I would really love to do a video collage or something like that. And so I wanted like those final videos so I could use them to make the collage. But I think these files are so massive, guys. Like, I've recently changed my settings to make, you know, just the video quality a little better, because I still wasn't very pleased with the quality of my videos, and I do think the quality has improved a little bit. I hope that you guys have noticed, but it means the video files now are massive. I was looking through the files to see, you know, what were the big ones, and I kid you not, the kitchen one where I've made over the kitchen in the Pearson household, that video alone, the source is 12 gigabytes. How is it that I have 12 gigabyte videos? No wonder my hard drive has filled up so freaking quickly. So I need to hurry up and do that video and get it all out there. There's so much that I've actually recorded and haven't edited. So I need to do that and get it out there so I can get it off my hard drive. And I think I need to invest in an external hard drive also, especially if I'm going to be hoarding all of these final versions. So anywho, that's what happened to my laptop and blocked it all off. And I managed to remake Beau and Victoria, the recordings that you're seeing now. And I recorded the episode of the Pearson Legacy, but I think my hard drive still wasn't empty enough because the video was just a disaster. It's the only word I can use to describe it. And I don't want you guys sitting there thinking, oh my days, this chick has literally wasted 20 minutes of my life. Give it back. Give me back the 20 minutes of my life that I spent watching this dump. It was a complete disaster wedding. I can tell you it's going to be a beach wedding, and because it's right by the beach, all the guests kept going to swim and then coming back naked. Some of them were naked, some of them were just in their swimsuits, and I'm like, no, what is going on? It was just a disaster. I think I still might release it as just like the version where it all goes wrong. But I still need to basically refilm the version that I want where it goes right, basically. So that's where I am. That's what happened. I still need to clear out my hard drive because I think it's still too full, and I was really, really noticing the lag. And you guys know I never really suffer with lag at all. I know sometimes things take a little bit longer to load, especially because I am very CC heavy on my gameplays. But man, it was painful in every single way. So that's what happened. But I am still hoping to give you a double bubble, and really, genuinely, I want to give you a special episode for the next one of the Pearson Legacy. So please bear with me, it is coming. But in the meantime, we've got the fantastic makeovers of Beau and Victoria Andrews, and also Jamie in another video. While I was preparing to do the makeovers, obviously I did go back and read some of the background for Beau and Victoria, and I have to admit, I gave Beau a really hard time in the last episode of the Pearson Legacy. I was like, you are so rubbish, Beau. Like, why am I even bothering? And obviously, according to the storyline of EA, Beau and Christopher Steele are actually friends when you start the game off fresh. So if you started off with Beau at the very beginning or started off with Christopher, they would be friends. So I really did want to continue that EA storyline. Obviously, whilst I've been playing Angela, that friendship deteriorated. So it's something I wanted to rebuild because I know it's part of the EA storyline, so to speak. But it was such a struggle, obviously, in the last episode to make Beau and Christopher be friends. It really did take, wow, I felt some time. It was a bit tricky, we'll put it that way. And as I was reading about Beau's background, I understood why. Beau is somebody who I see who's maybe come from like the city, like inner city, mum and dad just trying to make ends meet. And Beau, guys, he was heading for stardom. When you actually read his biography, it says Beau's dashed hopes of becoming a professional athlete manifest themselves in a slovenly appearance and general bitterness, but he does love his wife with all of his heart. And so basically Beau's background, he was going to be the superstar athlete. He's that guy, who probably got a scholarship, went to college, he was going to be MVP. He perhaps was even MVP at one point in whichever sports field he was in. I did see him being basically like an American football player. I think, especially with the dreadlocks, is something that I've seen a lot of professional American football players. They tend to have dreadlocks. That's why I gave him dreadlocks. That, and also CC for Black Sims is so hard to find. Oh my god, there's basically no afro textures or good like haircuts for Black Sims in the game, or even CC. So that was a whole struggle by itself. But in the end, I think the transformation of Beau was really good. I really based him on Andre Jackson, I think. There's a show called Blackish, and that's where Andre Johnson, actually, I think is his name. He's a guy, middle-aged, in his 40s, got teenage kids, but he's still got a really nice urban style, even though he's an adult. So I very, very much had that image of Andre in my head as I was redoing Beau. Like, I gave him quite a young style, young urban style, even though he's in his 40s, but I still think, he's somebody who would rock it. When you look at Beau's traits, he's a couch potato. He can't stand art. He can be inappropriate, but he has got a good sense of humor. And he's also a slob. So he's got quite a few negative traits. But when you look at what's happened to him, where, he was going to be a big star and then it all got ruined, I imagine actually through injury. It's very, very painful for athletes, who as soon as they get an injury, it just destroys their whole life, because that's all they've known, all they've trained for. You know, they've done everything to succeed in that sport, and then it's all ripped away from you, and it does have such a negative impact on you and can turn you into quite a bitter person. So that's what's happened to Beau. But throughout all of that, he's had a beautiful black woman by his side. I actually did go ahead and make Victoria a little bit darker just to really emphasize the type of person she is. And Beau is really, really lucky to have her, I have to admit. Beau does have a very strange lifetime wish, which is a gold digger. So he basically wants to see the ghost of his spouse, a wealthy spouse. So that would be the ghost of Victoria, which is not a very nice lifetime wish. He likes pop music, he loves cookies, and yellow is his favorite color. So if you're watching the video, the outfits, you'd see that I do like to put pops of yellow in there, and that's where it comes from. So I'll move on now to talking about Victoria. So I have to admit, I really love Victoria, especially when you read her bio. It goes, when Beau's dream of becoming a professional athlete was not realised, Victoria knew she would have to change her priorities if she wanted to be with this wonderful sim. And so she did. She studied art and writing and dreamt of the day that she could use her creativity to support her husband in the way he deserves. What the frick? This woman basically changed her whole life for this guy. And that tells you there must have been something special about Beau at one point in his life before he kind of turned into this kind of hard guy. But Victoria, she's making it her mission to stand by her man. And that's something, you've really got to respect. Marriage is not an easy thing. And, Beau and Victoria, they've got very, very opposite traits. Victoria is good. She's a hopeless romantic. She's artistic, ambitious, and she's a bookworm. She's all the things that Beau really isn't, but yet they genuinely have this love that just keeps them together, and it's a beautiful thing. She actually has a lifetime wish to be a star news anchor, and I imagine that's actually why Beau and Victoria moved to Sunset Valley, because she got offered this position, and since Beau was unemployed, or is unemployed when you start off the game, it makes sense. In my version of the Pearson Legacy, he's now joined the modeling career, and I imagine that's because he's got some deal on the side, and based on his history of being a professional athlete, they've decided to give him a chance. When you look at the makeovers themselves, I did give Victoria a lot of purple. Violet is actually her favorite color, autumn salad is her favorite food, and classical music is her favorite musical style. So she's a very, very classy lady, and I definitely wanted that class to be reflected in her outfits. Even though, again, I'm sure she's probably in her 40s. She's an adult in the Sims, so she's not young, but she definitely dresses young. You definitely get the impression that she looks younger than what she actually is. So I really love that about Victoria as well. I would really, really love for Victoria and Beau to adopt a child. I think that's something I'm going to do for them on the side of the Pearson Legacy, just add a child to their household. I think it'll be a really beautiful thing to solidify their marriage, especially because Beau and Victoria, just looking at their background, have genuinely been through a lot together, but yet they're still there for each other. It's a really, really lovely background story for them. In the makeover video, you would have noticed I showed you all of Beau's outfits, but unfortunately, like I mentioned, due to technical issues, I couldn't film all of Victoria's one. So I did the face makeover and then just showed all of her outfits at the very end. Before I was going to let go of the friendship between Beau and Christopher, I was going to let Christopher find, somebody else to be friends with. But now that I really understand Beau a little bit more, I see why he is the way he is. Like, when Christopher wanted to talk about fishing, Beau was like, I'm not really an outdoor type of guy, to be quite frank with you. I grew up in the city, fishing and stuff really isn't my thing, to be quite straight with you, Christopher. So, that was why their friendship was taking a while to really get there. And then, Christopher's like, oh, I'm getting married. And Beau's like, I love Victoria. But Christopher, marriage is not easy. I'm sure Beau feels like he perhaps is a weight for Victoria sometimes because she's now the one supporting him and carrying their dreams, I guess, as a couple. And so I think the reason why Beau wasn't super excited for Christopher when he said it was just like, marriage is not all fun and games. It's really difficult. If something is going to happen to Angela, like, are you going to be able to really pick it up, Christopher? So that's perhaps why Beau seemed a bit negative when they were having that conversation. But I'm really excited to see how things go in the Legacy series, and I really hope you enjoyed the makeover of Beau and Victoria, and we will definitely be seeing a lot more of them in the Pearson Legacy. So it's enough from Beau and Victoria, and it's enough from me, Novi. Until next time, bye.